Come back to more transfer news. So coming up first is Arsenal. Obviously, Arsenal have officially announced Gokures. Obviously, I've talked about the player, what I think about in my last video. If you haven't watched it, go and watch that. But today we're gonna talk about some outgoings from Liverpool and my club Chelsea. But first up, as we are on the topic of Arsenal, we will stay on Arsenal. Arsenal remain in contact with Eze from Crystal Palace since June as the player is keen on the move. However, there's been no club-to-club talks yet with Palace as Arsenal work on outgoings as priority now. With one of the player, Rhys Nelson, to go to Fulham for permanent, expected to be the next move. So they're trying to sell Nelson to Fulham, maybe one more or two more players, and then they will go on Eze because they want to do some outgoings so they can get some people in. Next up is Al Nassr hijacked the deal that Benfica were originally going for João Felix that Chelsea has, but Al Nassr has came in and got him from Chelsea. Here we go. Player authorized to fly for medical and join Al Nassr for initial transfer fee worth 30 million plus add-ons and heavy sell-on clause to meet Chelsea's 50 million euros valuation in the future. And the paperwork is being prepared. And so, yeah, what do I think about that? I think this is a good move for João Felix, for Chelsea. Because João Felix, it feels a bit sad. Like, at one time, he was so good, but he just slowly got washed. And even when he came at Chelsea, he couldn't compete. And I think there's no spot for him. We got Nkunku now. We're going... Nkunku now. Sorry, forget Nkunku. We got Palmer. We're getting Xavi Simmons. We have Neto. We got Dilap. We got Pedro Porro. We got, who else did we have? Maduiki's gone and the other guy we got so many. As I said, we have quite a lot of wingers and we are trying to sell the ones that are not working. So I think that's a good sale for Chelsea for 50 million euros package. Not bad at all. 40 million pounds I think is in total. So that is good. Good. Chelsea always know how to sell good. And next up, we have another deal that has been not done by Chelsea, but done by Liverpool, who I think are winning the transfer window in my eyes. If they now get Isaac as well, that is another one. Let's talk about that first, then I'll go with that one. They're heavily linked with Isaac. Isaac, of course, does not want to stay at Newcastle anymore. He only wants Liverpool. So obviously that talks has been going. Apparently numbers are being thrown at 150, 160, which is mad expensive. And that might be the most expensive player in the Premier League history maybe. And for Liverpool as well. So it will be insane to see what happens. Isaac, I think, will be a great player. I just think Liverpool just played Newcastle in my opinion because first of all, they got Ekatike, who Newcastle were going. And now, if they get Isaac as well, this will be the worst like thing for Newcastle. Like, but I've heard Newcastle now go for Sesko, which is not bad. I think the guy who will actually lose from it is Arsenal. Because Arsenal was first going for Gokures is gone. They were linked with Ekatike gone. Then they were linked with Sesko apparently as well. They were trying to look for Sesko. He will be gone as well. So I think the result for Man United fans is Jackson. I'm telling you, Jackson, amazing player. He'll score 30 goals, I guarantee. Get him. But yeah, that is the whole situation with Isaac. So let's see what happens. But let's go on with Liverpool outgoings now. They have sold Luis Diaz from Liverpool. Obviously he's from Liverpool, I'm just saying, to Bayern Munich, sorry. They have sold Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich for 75 million euros package with add-ons included, which maybe takes up to 80, 90. Contract until June 2029. Liverpool and Bayern are discussing add-ons details. Then here we go soon. So basically, it's practically nearly done. Obviously, there hasn't been the here we go yet, but soon it will be here we go, and Luis Diaz will be gone to Bayern Munich. What do I think about that deal? I personally do appreciate Luis Diaz a lot. I know Liverpool is getting a lot of players and stuff, and maybe Luis Diaz is not making his way. And plus, nothing problem was that Luis Diaz wanted to leave. It was like Liverpool wanted to keep him, but Luis Diaz wanted to leave. But I think Liverpool is going to get a good backup. Already, they have a very good winger. So I'm happy that some of the good players are going as well. Because Liverpool's team was so strong. And even if Luis Diaz went, Trent then, even with the signings they've gone back with Frimpong, Kirkes, Ekatike, Kirk, did I say Kirkes? Was it Zubimendi they get? Oh no, that was Arsenal. What was it? Wirtz. And now they're on to Isak as well. Like with this signing, it just adds so much more strength to that team, in my opinion. And yeah, and Luis Diaz going, I think for Bayern, that is a great deal as well. Bayern, obviously, last season they were all right, they were decent, they won the Bundesliga, but I think the Champions League, they still felt a bit like you wanted, even in the Club World Cup, they didn't felt that strong right now. It's like they're the staple team. So Luis Diaz is a great, I personally think he's a decent winger. Maybe not he hasn't been able to develop that big yet, but I still think he has potential. And maybe at Bayern, a new league, a different place, he will be good. I think someone who will be happy is Kane because Kane has more assisting for him because Luis Diaz is a good assister. And I think if I talk about the club, it's a good outsale. Like you spend a lot, but you've got 75 million for him. I remember they sold someone else for 50 million as well like this as well. That's the thing. Obviously, people say, oh, we're Liverpool getting all the money, but you have to see the outgoings are amazing. They're winning leagues, and also not that they've got a huge fan following as well. Like we need to remember that their merchandise does go. The reason about City was dodgy is like their outgoings were not going that much, and the ingoings were big. And plus, they're not even a huge club. Like City, there wasn't a huge fandom compared to Liverpool has a massive fandom. We all know how big that is. That was the main reason why City get a bit more. Liverpool, I don't think. Maybe, who knows? But whatever. It's a nice transfer window. I'd rather have it like this than last year, which was feeling. I don't know what happened last year. Last year, there was nothing going on. But this year, there's so many stories. And especially on the top four. I don't know what the bottom are doing. I mean like the bottom 5, 6, 7 are doing because I can't. Newcastle obviously they got who did they get again? They got Elanga, and that's it. Elanga will not win them the Champions League or get them a top four. Like obviously he's a great player. I'm not saying it won't, but just Elanga won't. They need to get more players. Obviously, a big shock to them is that Isak wants to leave. They thought they would keep Isak and then buy the players, but Isak wants to leave is a huge thing. But with the money, if they get 170 million for him, some of the money will go to Sesko. Sesko they could buy for 50, 70 million. If they then spend more money on other players, other areas, that could be good. But the money, I don't think is an issue for them either. It's just no players will want to go there because they haven't become that staple yet. Because people look at the top four, they're like, okay, Chelsea, okay, Arsenal, okay, Liverpool, and all those players like Poro, they were after Ekatike, they were after someone else as well, which another team got. They were after Mumumbo, who went to Man United, which is still shocking to me. But that's why they're struggling. But the other teams like Villa, Forest, don't know what they're doing. But yeah, if you're fans of those clubs, what do you think? Do you think your team should be active as well? Personally speaking, I think I'm happy with how my team's going. Liverpool, as I said, looks like they're just striking, and even Arsenal is looking like it's going to be a good title race between Arsenal and Liverpool. But that was it today for today's newses and stuff. I think there will be more news by tomorrow. Maybe Isak will go. Maybe we see the Xavi Simons deal done. So when all those deals are done, I will be back. And please like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned. And peace!